Hello, everyone. I hope that you are well. I hope you can see me and hear me wherever you are watching this from. I wanted to talk today about aligning to our soul's purpose, what this means, why it's important, and just really get into this journey. Um, I think it's a really important thing for us to connect into. So, why is it that we need to look at our soul's purpose? What's the point? And how do we do it? Is it even something for you? For me, knowing my soul's purpose, I've known it for a long time. I remember when I was about 20, well, it's changed a little bit. When I was about 18, I knew what came to me was it was healing through communication. This was the purpose that I was here for, to do healing work through my voice, through communicating. And not so much the words that I was saying, but the transmission of energy. Now, as life has gone on, that's become clearer and clearer and more defined. And I remember when I was about 27, it's really coming through even clearer, this healing through communication. Um, and then what started to come through is this earth led part, this earth wisdom that started to tune in and come up through me, this kind of shamanic remembrance almost. And now my soul's purpose feels like it's guiding people back into the earth and through that into themselves. So it's this remembering of who we are in the core of our being. And this is such an important thing for me that I transmit. This is so important that I share this work, this guidance back in, working with the amazing tools of the earth. So when we start to think about this, well, why do we need to know what our soul's purpose is? So many people don't. So many people feel like they're just floating around. Do you feel like you're just floating around a bit lost in space? Well, when we can start to align into who we are, when we can remember that, what happens is it gives us clarity and purpose. It gives us the reason to get out of bed. It gives us that drive to push forward. Sometimes you see people who are so driven, who seem to achieve so much, and you think, how the bloody hell are they doing that? And they're doing it because they are driven by more than themselves. They are driven by a deeper purpose. They're driven by that deeper need to be of service somehow, whether it's serving the earth, serving individuals, whatever it is, but it's that service that is driving them because they know what they're doing and why they're here. Now, sometimes our purpose can evolve and morph, just like mine, healing through communication. Well, I'm still doing that. That's still my purpose, but it's got more clarity. It's got more defined as I've got older. And it might take different turns, but it's underneath it all is this essence of healing through communication and returning people back home to themselves with whatever tools that may be, whether it's through sound, whether it's through movement, whether it's through my superfood alchemy work, whether it's through the wild women work, whether it's through the nutrition. There's all these different paths, but they're all leading to the same goal, so it doesn't matter. So some people get too narrowed down into, okay, so my soul's purpose is to create a great product and deliver that. Well, what's underneath that? What are you trying to aim for that's underneath that purpose? Because if we get too specific, then we block off the channels that may be opening up to us. So this is such an important thing to start to really look at and understand, that we want to have more of a general purpose. And then from there, we can define the steps that we can work with to connect people into our soul's purpose. But we don't necessarily have to have it in this minute form, because what I found from my experience is that as I learn, as I grow, as I evolve as a human being on my soul's journey, as I connect more into, as the wisdom comes through me more, and also as I have my challenges and I learn new tools, they all become part of what I'm offering and part of my medicine and my gifts. Because for me, what I believe is that our gifts come so often from our own challenges, our own experiences. And that's how we can serve people so well, because we've been through it. You know, It's like if you're traveling somewhere and someone else wants to go there, you can say, oh, yeah, I went there. This is some great tips. This is what I experienced. This is what I would avoid. This was really great. And it's the same with life. You know, a few years ago, we went through a lot of mental health issues with my son, and we moved through it amazingly. And that was so incredible. And what was incredible from that was creating my mushroom tincture and then supporting so many people who were in the same position we were in. And also being able to say, we got through it, you know, there's a way through, because that's so important in itself. And more recently, my challenge with hormones that presented itself as I getting older, and my ability more recently to navigate it in a different way, what tools I've brought in to support me with that, and then been able to share that with others. So as we grow, as we evolve, as we learn, as we put ourselves out there, as we connect more into our soul's purpose for us as well. So healing through communication, that's also for me, using my voice, using sound so I can heal those wounded parts of myself, connecting myself more deeply into the earth so I can find myself more whole, so I can come back into that resting place of home so much more easily. And as I do that, and as my work evolves for my own practice, again, sharing that with others. For me, this has always been the journey, you know, the experience of life and then the sharing of life. And seeing as I've gotten older, experiences as not so much good or bad, but experiences, because each experience takes us to that new level of growth and development. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to have negative emotions around some experiences or positive emotions around other experiences. But it's not grasping onto the experience itself as being that was bad, this was good, but they're pulling me through to that next level. And that's so exciting, I think, that pulling through, that moving. So if you're not sure what your soul's purpose is, if you don't know and you're wanting to find that, there are lots of different ways we can go about this work. For me, having my business focused on my soul's purpose gives me so much more drive for it, gives me so much more reason. You know, it's the reason for being, isn't it? For me, I want my work to reflect my reason for being. And our society has put us into a position in the world where most people are working not for their sole purpose. They're working to pay the bills, to pay the rent, to pay whatever it is. And they're caught in a cycle of having to do this and not having the space to then think, well, what's the reason for being here? Why am I here? Any of you question that? Why am I here? I remember spending so much of my teenage years, what is my purpose? Why am I here? It was such a big question for me. And it stayed throughout my life, that question of what is my purpose? What am I doing here? Wanting to make the most of this life and be of service in the most ways that I can, in service to myself and in service to others. I think this is an important part to remember, the service to ourselves, because we have to look after ourselves and we have to honour who we are, and we have to work on ourselves as well. You know, it's similar to the gut. So often people say, oh, I took antibiotics and then I took probiotics and I've left it and haven't done anything for my gut since. You know, working on our gut, keeping our gut healthy is an ongoing job. Working on ourselves and keeping ourselves healthy, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, is an ongoing job. It's not oh, I did a meditation class once, I'm done, I don't need to do anything else. It's this constant evolution, this constant journey, so we can be that best version of ourselves that we are. It's all in there. We have all the knowledge, we have all the wisdom, but we've forgotten, or we've got it bogged down with life, and life has taken us off that path. So one of the things we can do is think about what brought us joy as a child. It's a brilliant meme. So often these memes have so much truth. Whatever you did as a child that you spent hours and hours doing that brought you such joy, that's what you should be doing as an adult for your job. So I spent my childhood making up plays and directing them and acting in them, and being down the bottom of the garden making magic potions with leaves and flowers and crushing them up and making, all sorts of concoctions. Well, I'm still doing that, making all sorts of concoctions, which is wonderful and fills me with so much joy and happiness. As a child, I loved growing herbs, still doing that. I'm not doing the acting side of things, but I am using my voice and I am getting on stage and I am guiding people through song and things like that. So that's all happening. That's all my work, which is such a beautiful thing. So, what brings you joy? What brings you happiness? Now, if you want to really dive into this over the next year, I'm running my Earth Wisdom mentorship, and we're going to be looking at how we can work with the Earth to connect back into our soul's purpose, to really align with ourselves and the Earth and have that wisdom flowing through us from the Earth, from the cosmos, to really serve ourselves and the world around us. But if you're not up for committing to a year, next Thursday I have Unlocking Your Soul's Purpose workshop online, Thursday from 10 till 12. All the details are on my website, juliettebryant.com. So do check that out. So those are two of the ways you can work with me. I've got lots and lots of free videos on YouTube that you can tap into. So do check out Juliette's Kitchen on YouTube and have a look at some of my past videos. On my website you can access it as well. So lots of love to you all. I hope this has been food for thought to help you expand your life in such a beautiful way, a connected way. Lots of love.